staredowns.com.
Hi, Dana.
Hi.
Hi, I'm Joyce with Raw Vegas and Versus.
Hello.
I have two questions for you. The first one being, we hear a lot that Matt Hamill asked for this fight with Rampage, and I know that fighters ask for opponents all the time. What made this matchup so attractive to you?
Well, there were a lot of things that made this fight happen, more than just Matt Hamill, asking for the fight and wanting the fight. First, anybody who knows me and knows how I am, I love guys who come out and ask for fights. I love guys who are hungry like that. You got a guy like Matt Hamill who's been on a win streak and wants to go after a guy like Rampage, a guy who's on top and considered one of the best in the world. But a lot of different things fall into place in how we make the fights. Timing, who's available, this, that, and everything else. But it was a combination of all those things that made this fight.
And last question, John Jones was recently doing a radio interview with the Score in Syracuse, and he said that if Rampage wins this fight, that he may be facing him in October, or Lyoto Machida. Can you confirm anything?
No. Listen, there were scenarios laid out for John Jones. If this guy won, if that guy won, we don't know what's going to happen. We got to see what happens before, you can make a fight anywhere in the future. But John Jones is the champion. Right now, here today, Rampage Jackson is one of the best in the world at 205 pounds. He's got to beat this guy first on Saturday, and then a lot of other things have to fall into place before we can make those kind of decisions.
Hey, it's Karen again. I have a question for George and for Dana. George, I guess I'll start with you. If you've been right here, successful outside of the UFC, you were here before, and now you're back. I'm just curious if while you were away, was coming back here your specific goal? And now that you're here, how do you approach it? And then for you, Dana, what does it say about what a fighter has to do to come back after they've been released?
Yeah, of course. Like I said, for many guys before, I lost one of the big opportunities in my life being here, and I was working very hard to come back. And this is the best place to be. If you're a fighter, you want to be the biggest event in the world. So this is UFC. So I think I was doing this. I'm working hard to one day have opportunity. I just want to say thank you for Dana, Joyce Silva, and Lorenzo. I'm back.
And the thing about a guy, let's say you get cut from the UFC. For a lot of people, it's life-changing. It's a big deal. And I love people who overcome things. You lose, you got to go fight these smaller shows. It's a lot more difficult. This guy lost and was cut in 2006, around there somewhere. And goes out and goes on an 11-fight win streak. Goes out, makes the adjustments, does what he has to do, has that competitive drive and the mental toughness to come back and win 11 fights in a row and work his way back into the UFC. Those are exactly the kind of guys we're looking for.
This question's for Quentin. You've mentioned on numerous occasions that you don't want to be fighting past the age of 35, which is about 2.5 years away, if I'm not mistaken. Have you in your camp treated a blueprint as to what you want to do? I mean, I spoke to Lance before the press conference, and it was up to him. He'd like to have you fight right away. Is that something you want to do? Get as many fights in the next 2.5 years, or stagnated sort of thing?
I don't know. I haven't really thought about how soon and stuff I want to fight. Whenever fights come up and stuff like that, I haven't gave a whole lot of thought into it recently because I made my mind up when I first started fighting that I wouldn't fight past 35. That's all I knew. When I get 35, I feel like I'd be an old man for this sport. So I just decided that years ago. Because I got a lot of things I want to do. I got these finger painting things I really love doing. I really love that stuff. Finger painting. I'm actually getting good at it now. I made a peacock the other day. It was very beautiful. So when I retire, I think I'll be making a lot of finger paints and put it all over the house and stuff. Might sell some on eBay. If you guys are interested in it, let me know. I'll make more. Thank you.
Question for George, please. In front. We know about the win streak that you put together since you've been since you were at the UFC the first time. Just one loss since then. Can you talk a little bit about how you've grown as a fighter since the first time you were here in the UFC, and what's different about your game now?
I think I became more professional. I had to go all over the world to try to figure out what was missing in my game, and I found it. And since then I've been fighting all the good guys out of the UFC and winning. So I think that's the biggest point. The biggest thing I changed my game and got the success.
This question is for Rampage. Earlier this week, you wrote that you had been a little bit lighter than you had been in previous fights. Does coming in a little bit lighter this time around, will that change your perspective on training going forward?
No, just coming in a little bit lighter, all it basically does is help my weight cut out a little bit better. That's about it. Over the years when I used to fight in Pride, I was a single parent, and I used to eat fast food all the time. I used to have to cut 15 pounds every time before I fight. I really got sick of that over the years, and I got accustomed to just cutting like 6 pounds since I've been over here in the UFC and everything. I kind of like that, but recently I just been blowing up between my fights, just getting real lazy and having to lose a lot of weight in training camp, and I'm sick and tired of that lifestyle. Being really heavy, and I really regret getting real heavy after my November fight. You know what I'm saying? Because I couldn't fight Shogun when Rashad got injured and stuff like that, and that really, it was like a kick in the ass, for me and myself. So I'm really excited about getting in shape for this fight, because I haven't seen my abs for a long time, man. I miss them. When you look at yourself in the mirror and you disgusted with yourself, you're a professional athlete, man. That's bad. That's embarrassing. So so I'm really excited about this. So I've been tweeting pictures and stuff like that with my abs, and so I'm happy, man. I'm trying to keep my weight down. Me and my friend open up a gym, stuff like that. That's one of the main reasons why I'm doing it. Getting a gym right down the street from my house. I'm a lazy guy. So I can just drive to the gym right down the street and start, training and staying in shape, so I can look like a professional fighter all the time. People always think I'm a football player for some reason. I don't like that.
Rampage, just in relation to what you were saying earlier when asked about fighting past 35, I thought about Bernard Hopkins, who fought last week, and he was 46 when he won the light heavyweight title in boxing. And he had said he was going to retire at 40. He promised his late mother that he would not fight past 40, and then he, Saturday night, went in this long explanation of why he did. Could you ever see yourself in a scenario when you get to be 35, seeing a different set of circumstances and changing your mind, or is it completely permanent that the 35th birthday is the end of Rampage?
Oh, I always said that I wanted to retire at the age 35, you know what I'm saying? And yeah, everybody knows, I keep it real about my drive, that was driving me to do my job, what I do, you know what I'm saying? I have a lot of things that, you know what I'm saying, I have to take care of and stuff like that. I'm putting my little sister through college, and I want the best for her and my parents. We grew up poor, and I want my mom to drive a nice car and live in a nice house, and I want my dad to have the same. So those are the things that drives me to keep fighting so I can afford to do those type of things. And if it need be, if time for me to fight after 35, if it's really necessary, I will. But like I said, I want to retire at 35 and do other things, because what I'm saying, honestly, even when I started the sport, I had certain injuries that I didn't think that was going to last this long, and I've gotten better over the years and learned how to take care of myself, and learn how to have great doctors and stuff around. That's the main reason why I always wanted to retire at 35, because I didn't think my body would last all these years, but it's been doing really good, and fortunately the injuries that I have never bothered me in my fight, but it bothers me in training, and that's the main reason why I always hate training. And that's why when you guys see me fight, that's why I always try to make my opponent pay for all the hard training that I have to do, because every time I train, every day, something hurts, and it hurts bad, but I work through it, and I make it through camp. And most times I fight injured, and I don't say anything, but I still fight, and I do my job. But, that must come to an end, because honestly, I'm the biggest wuss ever. I cry over sprained toe. You see me complaining and crying, and just can't keep taking that year after year.
And I actually like that. I actually like guys who set a goal to retire at a certain age. It's not a bad thing. The problem in boxing, which hopefully we can change that over the next few years, is financially guys have had to keep boxing even after, Roy Jones said he wasn't going to keep fighting anymore, and you know what has happened last week. But Hopkins is a different scenario. I look at Hopkins like a couture. you know, guy's body has stayed with him the whole time. He's still relevant. He's still good. And he won the title the other day. There's stories like that that are incredible when you have this guy who defies all the odds at a certain age to do, you know, superhuman things like Bernard Hopkins did. And then you see guys that are out there fighting because they have to, which is, you know, not good.
And I don't want to be that guy out there fighting because he had to. You know, I look up to Mike Tyson big time, you know. And I feel disrespected. A lot of fans don't understand what I say about I want to move on and do other things after fighting. Like, honestly, fighting is a great job. I think I have one of the best jobs out there. I feel like it's one of the hardest jobs. And the UFC has done so much for me, honestly, guys. And it's a great organization to be a part of. But, you know what I'm saying, if Dana would pay me every month after I retire, then, you know what I'm saying, I'll fight a little longer. You know, I don't care. But it just don't work that way. You got to keep living. You got to keep other things. You got to keep going. You got to keep doing. I see a lot of pro wrestlers and football players and boxers that don't have anything after their fighting career, and I have kids to you know, look out there. I want to put some of my kids through college, and I know some of my kids I'm gonna need lawyer fees for them. I know it. Y'all laughing, but I'm and I know this, so I know what I have to do.
Gymgrossisten.com